Hello everybody, I'm Henry Lee. Now I'm at my yard to paint lablab beans. As you can see here behind me, I'm going to turn the camera. Okay, so now let's first take a look of the objects. I'm doing plein air painting in my backyard. You can see the autumn wine, the late season lablab beans with colorful leaves and shining purple. It's about the last harvest. The last harvest is coming, so we're going to trim this down, and so this is the last chance to paint it. It has been a very traditional subject matter by many ancient Chinese masters to do this vegetable. In China, we eat them unmatured beans, just boil or stew with meat and stir fry. So it's very delicious vegetable. It's a very beautiful flower. You can see in people's fans here in the States. We used some bamboos to support it. And here you can see actually some different vines. The wisteria also was here actually earlier, but totally overwhelmed by the lablab beans, or the hyacinth beans. I think I cannot pronounce it. Lablab is easier. In Chinese, we call this the flat beans, or biandou. You can see the profile here is flat, right? So depends on the perspective. It's flat. And the flowers are very beautiful purple. And the difference between lablab bean flower and the wisteria is the stems goes up, pointing to the sky. Pointing to the sky, not to the ground. So it's a very different movement in painting. If you study Chinese brush painting, we have two inspiration sources. One is the ancient paintings you can see in the museum, and well, I have searched on Google. These days you can reach anything on Google. So if you search Chinese biandou or the hyacinth beans in Chinese, you'll find the references, many references by great masters like Ren Bonian, Qi Baishi, and Xu Wei, my favorite. I have a printout I brought here today. I will show you this as a still picture on Facebook later. And you can see some of the compositions, although it's black white, because in Chinese we use ink mostly, but some of the paintings, original paintings, are in color. You can use ink leaves with indigo ink or green, and for the beans, you can paint the purple beans directly with color, or outline the beans with ink. And my favorite actually is Xuan's freestyle painting, and Qibai's freestyle painting. But Ren Bonian, my teacher's teacher, maybe belongs to the Shanghai school, has a lesser freestyle or Xie style, which I learned when I was studying with my teacher. And some great painters, Qibai's pupil Li Kuchan did a good job on this. Also, I think this one also is by Qibai's, is very good. So as you can see, the great masters, they don't paint the, although you can do the whole field of this, but you only pick the ones that you like, the spirit of the object, not the you have to kind of simplify it. So the next thing is we try to simplify by picking a branch or a stem of flower that we like to paint. I have you can hear the tinkling sound. That's my water supply. I'm carrying a easel on my on my chest, and my brushes is here. Okay, now let's go to this plant to take a look of different elements here. Very colorful leaves. We don't get to paint all that, but in ink painting we only use ink, right? So I find this branch my inspiration for today. It matches a few paintings here as we saw earlier, and here's again. I will explain the structure of it as we go. So this is the branch, the corner I'm going to work on. So this is the focal point, or my selection. So let's go back to my corner. Here I set up the camera so I can free my hand to paint. Forgive me, I have to do this all by myself. My wife is busy with other business and practice her music. So I try to do this on daily basis. I have to figure out. Thank you for your forgiveness of this mess here. Let me see if I can focus on my palette here. Okay. Let me get my ink out. Sorry, I have to. Alright, now I'm back with my ink. It's an ink cake. This you can get from our store. It's called the convenient ink cake. It's like a watercolor half pens. So I will use regular watercolors because I've been studying watercolor recently. It's kind of handy to use this travel palette outside. I got these brushes from Blue Heron Arts, the 3 basics plus the combination brush. So let's get the big one. And I got some water. in my oil painting, that's the sound it makes here. I'm going to wet my brush and just get ink this way. Just rub it off. You don't have to grind it. That's convenient, right? Okay, and let me find a place I can put this down. So we don't have to use this reference. Then put this away. All right. Make sure you can see this. Okay, I think let me put this palette off. I have to squeeze in everything. Okay, now let's do a ink painting first, I think. This is a rice paper called the Xuan, or single Xuan, because the weight is a thing. You have double Xuan, which is double the weight. So this is an absorbent paper. To start with, I would draw the bamboo rack, as we saw earlier in the tour. We have bamboo to support this line. You have to use some kind of rack, right? But you don't have to follow exactly the view. We will recreate it. So what I'm doing is I follow Qibai Shi's composition, which is 2 letters, like my initial, you'll see. So this is a first stroke, like a vertical, and make a cross. You can cross from this side or left side. And then this is the X, like X shape. And then with a fast sweeping stroke, because we want some, excuse me, the noise. I need some leaf to cover this part, so you can void it. So in Chinese, we use the term void, or you can use the term emphasis or de-emphasis to indicate the front and back, or that kind of thing. And then finally, a vertical stroke on the corner. It's my initial H. An H behind the X. My name is Xiaohui Li, spelled as Xiaohui. Xiaohui, so X, easy to remember, right? X and H. This is my signature. This serves as the structure of the composition, okay? And next I'm going to then lighten the ink. Just add more water. And as you have studied, if you remember, the leaves of the flower, the lablab bean is 3-parted. I can see in this picture. So, in my actual object here. So I'll show you how. So it's like a Chinese bamboo painting. We always do 3 strokes, right? You may connect 2 and then So this is the stem. So you need to leave space between them. That's very important. I think I messed up last demo when I copied my teacher's painting. The ink smeared, so I missed this part. So this little space indicates the structure of the form of the leaf. It's very important to keep. But you don't need to worry about every group. You can then just do it use like a perspective foreshortened view or something. You don't have to indicate all three. Like this one is a foreshortened view. You see them actually in the real plant, right? And my main concern is the dense and sparse. Dense means solid. Sparse means less, right? More and less. So I also concerned with the movement, the directions. So we introduced the painting from right to the left. So you can start to draw these kind of lines now behind the plant. It goes up and then maybe goes down. At this point, I want to do more leaves. I would use dryer brush to do the veins, of course. I don't want it to bleed. Again, 3 leaves. I try to vary the shape. Change the direction. So this point to the left. The movement is still pointing to the left. You can vary some of the sections. And here we will try to block the qi from escaping. So I want to paint some leaves, indicate the pictures outside. You don't have to stop by the edge. Okay, now I will draw the tendril and the beans. I better do the beans now. In front of the tendril, maybe, or the stem. So I start to draw. You can use a smaller brush. For convenience, I just use the same brush. Make sure you can see this corner. It's kind of hard to get all the parts inside the picture. Now you can see it, right? Okay. You take a deep breath. You cannot stop between the drawing, so it gives a nice flow. So you start from the back of the bean, and then bottom. Like a half moon shape. This plant is known as the purple moon. When they sell the seed, it's called the purple moon. You can order online. There's a little kind of tip. It's very nice. Up to 4 beans per pot. This bean pot. When you cook it, you have to cook it thoroughly. You cannot eat like raw, just like green beans, you have to fully cook it. Stew is the best. Okay, I don't have to paint the flowers because it's although there are a few left there, so maybe I'll do a little bit here. Normally it's on the top of the stem here. So we can just start it with, you don't have to outline the flowers. Let me just start it here. You can see it, just like that. The bud and the bloom one. It's like wisteria, you know, a little butterfly shape. And you can draw a tender bean there. And just a side view one, maybe. Then you use darker ink to draw the calyx. If you use color, it would be dark purple. You can have some more bud on the top. Okay, I think I have got enough because I need to leave room for the tendrils. Okay, now I'm going to draw this. Watch this. It's a very free style painting, so you don't need to. Let me close this. So indicate more under the painting. And I changed my mind. I thought the plants coming from this side, you can kind of end here. But since I extended this branch, this bamboo, I can introduce the plant right from here, and then goes the other way. So it's just like a circle thing. I wish you can give me some advice if you could type. This is a live broadcast you're watching if you are on YouTube. Okay, let me just finish by doing whatever comes in my mind. It may go both ways. So there are some going up there, you don't have to define, and some goes behind here. Goes up. And some tender leaves, maybe just behind the flowers. Another dense and sparse concept. Don't overdo it. If you think it's enough, then you don't have to add extra things like the veins. If the stroke is already calligraphic, you don't have to. If it's too flat, you can kind of add a dimension to it, or just by doing the center vein. You could also do the secondary veins, but normally we omit that in grid free style or Xie style. Okay, and that's it. I think I'll just put my name here. I didn't bring my seal, but I will make that at home when I go back to my room. So we just write the year. It's not the year of dog yet. So I still write last year, or I just write the common era. This is how we write. 2018. Xiaohui. My name is also here, like X and H. Remember that structure I started? Okay, thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon. I try to make this a more developed lesson. If you're interested, you can sign up to our online class at ChineseBrushPainting.ning.com. I'll start a lesson right away and make additional videos or contributions, instructional videos. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Happy painting. Happy 2018.